I'm Reverend Pam Borowski of 3 Rays of Light, and you are listening to Bell, Book, and Candle. And what we're going to talk about today is Sigil Magic. I know a lot of people are really interested in sigils. And so what I'm hoping that we're going to do today is learn how to create your own sigils and what the uses of sigils even are. Joining me today is my little Chihuahua, Sadie, who's laying right here next to me. I will screw up the camera if I try to show you, but if you hear anything beside me, I got a cat and a dog who is right here helping me with this class today. So they are asleep right now. That probably won't last forever. We'll see. So let's dive right in. Sigil Magic. What is a sigil? What do y'all think is a sigil? I know that a lot of people think of them as symbols. Yes, they are symbols. They are symbols that are created for a very magical purpose. So they're not just any old symbol. They have to have a goal, a very specific goal, or a desire or ambition and intention that you'd like to bring forward. So that makes it a sigil. They are very powerful tools. If you have this idea of something you want to achieve and you create a sigil, it makes this idea that you may have in your mind into something that is very concrete right in front of you. I have used sigils in many things in my life. And one of the things that I did when we got our pool concrete poured, I have this one sigil that is a protection sigil. I use it when I clear homes and areas. I use it, I have it actually on some of the jewelry that I make. Some of the sacred jewelry, I have this symbol. It's like a rune symbol, a bind rune, but it is a charged sigil that I use for protection. So I carved this protection sigil into the concrete of my pool before the concrete got hard as kind of a protection for that area. So that's something that you can do. There's lots of different things that you can do with it. When I was painting the house that I lived in before this, and I was doing the undercoat, the primer, I painted with the primer sigils on my walls, and then I continued to finish painting, but I had that sigil painted into the wall, that protection sigil, and sigils for happy home and happy family. So you can be very creative. It is a very magical shape that is kind of tricking the mind to create an effect in your life. And when I say tricking the mind, I don't mean that it is fake. I mean that our mind is super powerful. And so you are using this symbol, this sigil, the magic of it, to kind of turn a switch in your brain. Just like a lot of other magic that comes from our powerful mind to help you achieve whatever it is that you're trying to get. So you may have heard some history on sigils as pertaining to maybe demons or summoning angels or some sort of control mechanism. And there is a lot of writing in history, information about sigils being used for this, usually in medieval times. The sigils can represent planets, alchemy, ancient gods. In the 1900s, there was a man named Spare, Austin Osman Spare, who kind of really revived the use of sigils. But sigils have been around since the caveman days, really, when they tried to get concepts across by drawings. So they do at their core hold drawings and symbols and shapes in them. Now I am interested in chaos magic, and sigils are used a lot in chaos magic. Now chaos magic tells you that you can control and create your world, because the world is your perception of the world. That's a very simplified version of it. So the way that I create sigils is based on chaos magic, because I write what I want, I take those letters and the shapes, and I create the sigil. So even though I do try to create things that are beautiful in my own eyes, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be this flowy, beautiful, script thing to hold the magic. It does not have to be that at all. So how do sigils work? Why should we even care about sigils? That's an important question. So sigils will get around the conscious mind. The conscious mind says, this is not going to work. I'll never be able to have this. One of the biggest hurdles in magic is our own conscious mind. Just doubting that anything is ever going to happen. That is the biggest hurdle for any type of magic working that you're going to do. Your conscious mind is very powerful. I do a lot of hypnosis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and so the brain and reprogramming the brain and getting past that conscious mind to the subconscious is very near and dear to my heart. And magic needs to have that happen as well. So in a sense, like I was saying before, a sigil kind of tricks that conscious mind and gets into your subconscious mind. So it's almost like a type of hypnotic magic. Very powerful. And that sigil is working all the time, even if you aren't actively thinking about it. Because I have clients fall asleep in my office all the time. It does not matter. Your subconscious never sleeps. So it doesn't matter if you are not actively staring at that sigil all the time. It is still working because you viewed that sigil. You created that sigil. So it's a way of implanting magic into your subconscious. How awesome is that? Have you ever thought about creating a sigil as implanting magic into your own brain? I think that's really, really cool. So you want to make sure that you are working on the magic that you want to accomplish in your life. And our subconscious understands images and symbols better than anything else. So a symbolic form of what we want in our life, our intentions, is going to really be powerful. If you think about advertising and logos, there are probably a good many logos that I could flash up from our childhood, from our 20s. I'm almost 48, so I've had a lot of advertising in my years. And I bet just if I showed the logo, you could not just name the company or the brand. You could probably maybe sing a jingle. You could tell me a commercial that you saw with that in there, because images and logos are powerful. Companies know what they are doing. They know what type of images your brain is going to remember. So you are doing the same thing. Your sigil is an advertisement to your subconscious. So you are implanting that kind of logo, that magical sigil into your subconscious. So I'm going to teach you the method that I use, that I was taught. I've been using it for many, many years now. People do sigils differently, and I am not telling you that this is the only way to do it. There are many different ways to do it. I'm just going to teach you the way that I do it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to write out your intention. What is it that you are advertising to your subconscious? What is it that you want to accomplish? Now, in hypnotherapy, I have learned that affirmations or intentions should not have the word will in them. Now, you're going to see a lot of affirmations that say, I will be happy, those types of things. I will accomplish many things today. I don't do that. And that is because I have been trained in hypnosis to take that out. Because if you tell your subconscious that you will do something, then it takes things very literally, and it's not going to happen until sometime in the future. And then when will that future ever get here? So I take the I will, and we go ahead and assume that it is happening. So I will be happy becomes I am happy. I will lose weight becomes I am at my ideal weight. I want to find love becomes I am in a loving relationship. So you go ahead and assume that what you want has happened. And that's how you write your intention. You want to be very specific. And also keep in mind, be careful what you wish for. Write down exactly what you want. Don't beat around the bush. Don't make it very open-ended. And also believe that what you're going to get is going to happen. But you have to be really careful. So someone several years ago asked me to create a sigil for them to cause their husband to stop abusing her and to truly love her. I did not feel comfortable with that, and I do not do any type of spell work or anything like that that I am not comfortable for. I don't care how much money you offer me, I'm not going to do it if I'm not comfortable, because I'm the person responsible for that. So I talked to her, and I was able to create a sigil for her that instead said something like, I'm in a healthy relationship with someone that loves me. Because I just wasn't sure that this fellow who was abusing her, we don't want to put that in her mind that she is, forever with this person and that he will always love her. And, just focusing on not abusing would be one thing, but she just wanted him to truly love her and be with her and not abuse her. And what she needed instead, I felt, was to be in a healthy relationship with someone that loved her, whether it was him or someone else. So that left the door open for the husband to get his act together, or for someone else to come in and treat her right. So you want to keep it positive. It's like telling a child, don't run in the hall. You've said run in the hall, and our brain is like that. Our subconscious is like that. It takes things very literally. So it's better to say walk in the hall instead of don't run, because, like a child, the brain is going to hear exactly what you're saying. It's also been proven that stop smoking or tobacco health ads have actually made people want to smoke. The label is so prevalent on every cigarette pack that when you see it, it makes people want to light up. It triggers something in their brain. It's associated with smoking in the subconscious. So I would imagine that my grandmother, who smoked Camels many, many, many years, probably got the urge to light up every time she saw that camel. Whether it was a camel on TV, camel in a book, camel on the cigarette pack, it didn't matter. Alright, so you need a piece of paper. So I hope you have a piece of paper of some sort. I like just white paper, but you can do it on lined paper, it doesn't matter. And you need a pen or a marker or something like that. So once you've decided on your intention, you're going to write your intention across the top. And let's see how this works. I have got a piece of paper, and I have written just a very simple affirmation on here. So this is what I've written. I am healthy. So that's what we're going to focus on. So you just write your intention or whatever it is that you're making your sigil for. And it can be longer. It doesn't have to be super short. It can be longer. But the next step that you're going to do is you are going to cross out any vowels. If you don't feel it should be crossed out, then leave it. It's up to you. This is very personal work. There's no right or wrong. To start with, I cross out all the vowels. So I'm going to do that right now. Some people leave the Y's in. I'm just going to cross the Y out right now as well. And so you can see kind of what I've done here. So you cross out all of your vowels. And then your next step is to pull out the remaining letters. You can cross out multiple letters as well and pull down what's left. But you can just, go ahead and just pull them down. If you see a duplicate, just don't pull it down. So I'm going to do that. So you've got an N, an H, an L, a T, and another H. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the Y here. So that's what I've got going on here. Here we go. I am healthy. We've got an M, a H, an L, a T, and I went ahead and pulled the Y down even though I crossed that out. Owl. I don't know why I said owl. Alright. Now, you could also, and I'm just going to do this under it so you can see what I'm talking about, you can also pull out the shapes. So you don't necessarily have to pull out the letters if you just want to pull the shapes out. So I'm just going to show you just a minute. Oh, my marker's squeaky squeaky. All right. So I'm going to show you right here, just, you see right, oh, there we go, right here. I've taken the N and the H and I've just pulled the shapes out. That is an option that you can go ahead and do if you want to do that. I usually just work with what I have as I have it going. I don't necessarily pull the shapes out at the beginning, but some people do. Now my personal signature, and as you do more of these, you'll get kind of a signature. But for eyes, I will use a dot in my sigil. So depending on how many eyes, we'll have dots that I include in my sigil. And so you'll see that happen at the end. And that's just my personal signature. If y'all like it, you want to use it, y'all welcome to do that. And then what you're going to do, this is the creative part. This is the part that takes time and is almost like a meditation. And that's where you start combining all the loops and the shapes. You can think about runes and the way they look. An L is 2 lines and you could flip it. And if you have an F, just add another line. And so you've got an E. You've already got the F in it. So be creative like that. You can just doodle, doodle, doodle until you come up with something that you like. Add embellishments to fit your style. You know, if you want to do some little flower petals, or if you want to do something else with it, make it your style. Make it the way you want to do it. So I'm going to do something really quick here, just off the top of my head. I haven't really thought about this. And see what we come up here, just so I can show you. So I'm going to use the M and the H together, and I'll show you this in a moment. So the M and the H. Yeah. Alright. The L's already in there. We'll do that. And we'll do the Y on the top here. And then I've always got to put my dotted I in, so we'll put it there. Alright. So I just did this real quick. I did not even think about it. And I would probably, if I was doing this for somebody, I'd do lots of them. And gosh, I can't even see it now because, alright, here we go. Alright, so you can see the N pretty clearly. You have the H is in there as well. Do you see that? You've got the line that comes down and then that going. That's the H, so it's just combined. The L is right in the middle. The T is my mark right here. The Y is at the top, and then my little signature is a dot for the I. And so that is the sigil that I have created for I Am Healthy, and I kind of like it. You could be a little fancier if you wanted. A lot of times once I get it all nice and made, I might add a little embellishments to it and thicken it up a little bit and recopy it several times. Let's see what I can do here. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. What y'all think? Can you see it? There we go. So that is I Am Healthy. Alright, so we have created the sigil. I would love to see what y'all came up with. So please, please, please take a picture and post it down below. Let me see your comments of what you've created. I love seeing that. And I love seeing people's creativity. Everyone has different styles of doing this, and it's so amazing. And you know, I have a certain way I do it, and you might see really curvy, frilly, I don't know, girly, I don't know, just different things of people doing these amazing sigils, and mine look completely different. That's totally okay, because this sigil is meant for this brain. Your sigil is meant for your brain, so it doesn't matter. So once you have your sigil, then it is time to charge the sigil. And so charging the sigil or activating the sigil is infusing it with your energy. So you've invested energy into the creation of it. I just did this really quick. If I just really, really love this, which I do, I kind of do love it, I would still have copied it several times before I get to the charging it. In fact, I have special paper. It's handmade paper, and I even make my own ink. I'll have to do a video about that sometime. But the last ink that I made was pokeberry ink. We got a lot of pokeberry in the South. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but it's all over my yard, and you can't eat it. So I made ink out of it. In fact, it's behind me on one of my shelves. So I'll use the pokeberry ink with a feather, all old-fashioned and fancy, on my handmade paper, and I'll make my sigil, and that'll be my official sigil that I charge and activate. That's just how I do it. So you've invested this energy into all that. I mean, I invest the energy into the ink and cutting my feather to make the good ink pen and all that. So all that is energy that you are putting into this purpose. So it all means something. So there's lots of ways to really charge your sigil. You can do it immediately, or you can live with the sigil for a little while. Make sure you really like it before you activate it. Sometimes activating or charging the sigil is called consecrating the sigil. So the first thing is meditation. The very simplest form of meditation is you hold the sigil right in front of your eyes and you stare intently at it. This is really a type of self-hypnosis. You are just imprinting that symbol into your brain. Allow it to sink into your mind. You want to practice mindfulness. Don't do this when you're doing anything else. Don't try to be on the computer, watching television, or chatting with somebody. This is meditation time. This is mindful meditation time. So just focus on your sigil. Not the meaning of the sigil, just the actual curves and lines of it. The graphic image as just a abstract, unconnected to any meaning picture and nothing more. You can even do this during yoga or your normal meditation time. And then you want to do something that requires energy. Dancing, wild dancing, even cleaning the house takes energy. In anything that has passion involved in it. Even sex could be something that you're creating power and adrenaline in response to the sigil. You're not really thinking about anything else but what you're doing in the moment with this energy, this power, this movement. And then as you do this, so whether it's dancing or running around the house or just something, exercising, you visualize the sigil in your mind. You've already meditated on it. You've already put it in your brain. So now see it. Visualize it. See it big and bright. And just let it explode into nothingness. And at the apex of your energy, whatever you are doing, you've got your apex before you start coming down. Just visualize the sigil and what it means. And then some people who create a sigil for themselves, they then burn the paper and the sigil to activate it. So you'll need, of course, a fire-safe bowl and a candle or a flame of some sort. If someone has made a sigil for you, you want to redraw it yourself. That's just something to keep in mind. You can redraw your own sigil to invoke its energy if it's been a while, or you can keep a copy of it. You don't have to burn it. You know, if you have done all this with your ink and your handmade paper and you just don't want to burn it up, you could just keep it on your altar or a special place in your home. So you can tear the edges off around the sigil until it's just about the size of your sigil itself. Remind yourself what the sigil stands for and look at your sigil and then release the energy of your sigil as you burn it if you so choose to do that. And that's just charging the symbol. So you've charged it up, and then now you are discharging it. And you can still use your sigil. You can still use it. The magic's been done. It's now a piece of art. You have kind of sent that off into the world. I continually use kind of the same one, that protection one all the time. I create different sigils all the time, but that one's very near and dear to me. So I will continually charge up and use it, or put it on places like I was talking about my concrete out around my pool. So there's different things, and do it on the walls. And I have some on my jewelry that I wear. So there's a lot of different things. When I go to homes to clear it, I will use a special mixture that I have created of water, and it's actually soot from sage that I've burned, and some essential oils, and I'll actually use my finger to draw these sigils on the door frames and walls and things like that to help me with my clearing of homes. So there's lots of different ways to use it. You could state the intention in ritual prayer. You could tuck it under your pillow and sleep with it. That is something that you could do in order to kind of use the energy of your sigil. Instead of burning it up, what about folding it up and burying it into the earth, giving it to the earth, or rip it into lots of pieces and toss it out into the wind if it's paper that's not going to hurt the environment, or toss it out to sea, a river, moving water to get that going. You could fold or roll it up and put it into a witch bottle or a special intention bottle that you have. You could put it somewhere that you will see it often, but not really think about it. So it's not front and center, but it's somewhere tucked away, maybe hanging somewhere where you can see it every once in a while. You can charge it in sunlight or in moonlight, full moon, new moon energy, something special going on. You could even draw it in your food before you eat it. And you could, let's say Thanksgiving, and you have a sigil you've created that, I don't know, your family will get along. So we don't want the will, so that was a mistake on my part. So my family enjoys being around each other. How about that for a sigil? My family enjoys being around each other. So maybe you have created a sigil. You take your knife, or even the butter and a brush. I don't know, y'all put butter on your turkey? We do in the South. So you take your butter and your brush or your knife, and you carve that sigil right into your turkey and activate it there. That is just one crazy, crazy way that I just thought of that you could use that sigil. So there you go. There's something for Thanksgiving coming up. So there's lots of other ways that you can use sigils. So you could paint it somewhere visible on your body, and then take a bath and let it slowly dissolve away. So, if you had, trying to think of something that you could put on your body that would dissolve like that, like a soap, or the what is that called? Clay. The clay that you would use for your face. Maybe use that and just let it kind of flake off. And this is really useful if you've created a sigil for healing your body in some way. So that'd be perfect for that. You could create a sigil that you put on your business card, or that you put on letters or packages. That's another thing that I do with my protection sigil, is when I mail something, when I mail packages or boxes, I will put that sigil, I'll draw it on every single box or package. If you're putting flyers out, maybe you lost your cat, make a sigil that your cat will be found with ease. And so you could even put it on it visibly, or you could put it on it with lemon juice so that nobody is actually seeing it, but you're still putting that sigil on it. Your logo for your company could incorporate a sigil for power, for energy, for abundance. That's an idea. If you're painting your home, like I was talking about with primer, use your sigils on the walls of your home or anything that you're building. I know that when my parents helped me build my house for my little goats, my little pygmy goats, I painted a protection that was specifically created to protect my goats, and put that on the wall of their little house. You could put sigils on the bottom of your shoes, in your car, on your car tires. When they fade, redo it or change your sigil. You could trace the sigil onto the palm of your hand when you're feeling afraid. Maybe you have anxiety or stress. Make yourself a very simple sigil that is, I am at peace in the world, or I am in control of my surroundings, or something like that, something that is meaningful to you. And when you start getting stress, trace it on your hand, right there where you feel it. Something that's very personal for you. You could carve a sigil on a candle and burn the candle. You could inscribe the sigils into your jewelry. You might even have different jewelry for different purposes, unless it's something that you could switch out. Like you might have a sigil that you put on a piece of jewelry that is specifically to help you in public speaking. So you would wear that when you know you're going to be having a public speaking engagement. You can use a sigil on something like parchment to create a talisman that you keep on your altar or carry around with you. Draw sigils on doors or windows like I was talking about. Again, you could use lemon juice. You could use something like the water mixture with essential oil that I use. You can just use water. It doesn't have to be something special. It doesn't have to be something seen. You know it's there. If you make something that you want to remember for the rest of your life, you could even get a sigil that you have created as a tattoo, or get a temporary tattoo out of henna and see if you like it, see how it makes you feel. You could have it part of your signature. Make one with your name and sign things with your sigil, and it will give off an air that whatever it is on, this does not belong to anyone else. This belongs to you. You could even put that into the intention. You can use different colors of your ink to mean different things. So here's just some ideas. So red ink is things for passion, for strength, vitality, desire, for sex. Orange is for charm or confidence, jealousy, persuasion, joy. Yellow can be used for joy as well, for intellectual strength or development of your mind. Green is often used for prosperity, for abundance, for fertility. It's very well known for that. Things have to do with money. Blue is often associated with healing or protection or your spiritual development. So purple is a very magical color. So power and magic, energy. Pink, compassion, love, friendship. White is about purity often and innocence. Peace. I like blue for peace myself, but you could use white for peace or tranquility. You don't have to have special inks. I like to make ink, like I said, but you don't have to. I mean, what I did right now, I just used a little marker. That's fine. You don't have to have fancy paper. Magical inks do create a little more power into it. That's what I believe. They can make them more powerful, but it is not needed. And the lifespan of your sigil just really depends on what you're doing and what the intention of it is. But generally, once you create a sigil, it's going to last because you put it in your subconscious. So if you want to deactivate it, if you're like, okay, I'm done with this, I don't want this anymore. Of course, if it's something that you can wash off, wash it. Then you can redraw it and destroy the paper while saying something like, the sigil is not needed any longer. The synergies are released and neutralized. So that's just something very simple you could say. I don't need the sigil anymore. I release it. I neutralize it. And if you can't remember exactly what it looks like, that's fine. Just visualize it in your head and just say, I don't need this anymore. This sigil is no longer needed. And just imagine it being destroyed in some way. So you can use sigils that you find in books, online. Other people may make them for you. I've made them for many, many people. But you need to charge it with your own energy. So if you find something really cool online, sigil, bind rune, something like that, that means something, always charge it with your own energy. But you're going to find that creating your own sigils is always going to be more powerful. So just to kind of end, I wanted to show you some of the sigils. And because this is printed in black and white, you can't see the crystals that I used. But when I charged each of these, I picked out a very specific crystal to charge them with. But I'm going to show you just some of the ones that I used here. All right. Let's see if you can see that. So That's the one that I made to protect my goats. So that's the one that I put on their little goat house. Hey kitty, what's wrong? This one is I deserve recognition and fair pay for my hard work. I made that for somebody. I let go of the past. This was protect my family. I really like that one. I don't know, it looks like a music note. And then I've got some on the back. So bring loving friends into my life. You can see I kind of incorporate a little heart in there. I am protected. I am strong. Those I love are protected from destructive energies. I mean, I'm not the best artist in the world, but these were what I developed, and I made these for different people. I made these for myself, like the Protect My Goats one, and my goats are still healthy and alive, so maybe, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. Sigils are amazing. Sigils are a wonderful, wonderful addition to your magical repertoire, and so I hope that you have found something really useful in the little class today, and thank y'all so much for coming. And again, I'm Pam with Bell Book and Candle. My business is 3 Rays of Light, and if you want to be a patron, the information will be below. If you want to find my website, information is below. And I am just so appreciative of y'all watching this, and thank y'all so much. Have a good night.